Welcome back to the Brik House. Brik Sharpton here with another Pokemon Unite video, and today is a bit of a somber one. Today we're going to go briefly through the patch notes as well as some additional changes that are coming to Pokemon Unite. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to support the Brik House, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. So we got here the patch notes for the Guardian Awakening patch. So the one thing I want to highlight on these patch notes, as we will be going over the Pokemon affected in our Power Rankings video later this week, is this change to the draft mode. So currently the system has it as if all 10 players are at the 1200 ranking, you will be put into a draft pick mode. However, they will be changing it to be at a 1400 master ranking for the draft mode to take in effect. It says here, as the ranked match season progressed, the number of players reaching master rank has increased. Draft mode is designed as an advanced mode for players to enjoy more strategic battles. This adjustment was made in consideration of the current player distribution to ensure that draft mode matchmaking aligns with its original intent. We will continue to monitor the battle environment and make adjustments as necessary. So my honest opinion about this situation is that this is one of the worst decisions that they can make, and we're kind of coming out of Mega Charizard dominating for the last 3 weeks. They say here, as the ranked match season has progressed, the number of players reaching master rank has increased, and it's a bit confusing if they are referring to in general or just for this season. If they are referring to this last season, again, it's probably because a lot of people had been spamming Mega Charizard to get them through these games, and being a Pokemon that was just being a very free win for a lot of players, it did grant them a lot of master ranking access, which then if Mega Charizard was banned, they didn't have a Pokemon to really play and then continue just to kind of feed in your games. Again, one thing that I was very cautious about with this Mega Charizard X release, as toxic Pokemon like this just promote bad play, and once you take that away from them, then you're not really left with anything except for a toxic environment. Another thing that is very frustrating about this is that most games actually just have a draft mode in place automatically if you go into a ranked game. My biggest issue with this change is that draft mode should actually be available earlier on in the ranked mode instead of later on. It's something that forces you to play outside of your comfort zone, and something that should honestly be a requirement if you do want to reach these higher rankings, and having it at the second highest tier makes it very unlikely for a lot of players to even see draft mode, which is already a rare occurrence in the first place. The casual mode is just filled with bots. If you are in a lobby for around a minute, you have a very high chance of just being put into a bot game, and they have very little incentivization to have you play casual games, which makes it just a empty, barren environment, and a lot of players will just opt to play ranked games just so they can play with other humans and not with bots the entire time, which is understandably very boring. So that's just all on the patch notes I wanted to go through. However, there are more changes that are coming to Pokemon Unite. These changes, not on the patch notes, however, have the potential to change Pokemon Unite even more so. So Pokemon Unite is making changes to the method of obtaining Unite licenses and the abolition of the Aeos coins. Yes, that is right, they are taking out the Aeos coins, the only other currency that is worth anything besides gems in the game. So they say here, thank you for your continued enjoyment of Pokemon Unite. In Pokemon Unite, we will be changing the way you acquire Unite licenses so that your daily play will lead to the acquisition of Pokemon Unite licenses that you can enjoy collecting them. This is an important change, so please review the details. On a side note, I thought that the daily games to get coins was to lead me to get Pokemon Unite licenses. If there's any change that involves not having a currency to buy them, it's probably a bad change because it's just going to be taking away my agency as a player to buy what I want. Not really good start so far. Introducing the new license acquisition method, License Journey. The new feature, License Journey, which will be available from December 4th, will allow you to acquire Pokemon Unite licenses. You can select the Unite license you want to obtain for each stage, and by accumulating license points through gameplay, you can acquire the Unite license of your choice. So essentially, you will be able to choose which Pokemon you want to obtain, and then through playing games, you will be able to acquire points in order to obtain this Pokemon. So the license journey and Pokemon selection. There are several types of Pokemon Unite licenses available for each license journey, and you can choose your favorite Pokemon from these to earn points. While you can usually choose from 1 to 5 Pokemon per stage, there are also bonus squares where you can occasionally choose from all Pokemon. We are also considering adding newly released Pokemon to the license journey as soon as they appear in the shop. We are also considering Pokemon, I believe they're not in the shop for the first 2 weeks when they're released. So this is considering after the 2-week period they already are released. Will they then consider putting it in the journey? How to earn license points. So, license points. License points can be obtained through Battle Pass rewards, random boxes, and other event rewards. So the Battle Pass to pay for, the loot boxes, and the limited time rewards. When you increase your Battle Pass level, you will receive Battle Pass rewards, which will include additional license points. While you can earn a certain amount of license points with the free pass, you can get even more with the paid Premium Pass. With this change, Premium Pass will allow you to progress faster in your license journey in addition to obtaining high quality holoware. And random box rewards. Random box rewards are distributed every day and can be opened by clearing missions, so it looks like you get 1 per day. Opening a random box will grant you a variety of items, but you may also occasionally receive a Unite license or license points. They may also be included as rewards for upcoming events. Even more loot boxes in Pokemon. Regarding the abolition of Aeos coins, so due to the introduction of the new license acquisition method described above, we will no longer be distributing new Aeos coins and will no longer allow them to be used in shops. Please use any of the Aeos coins that you have as soon as possible in shops, or we plan to exchange them for license points once the license journey is released. We apologize for the inconvenience, but please check the discontinuation schedule and the use of Aeos coins below. So, starting on December 4th, 2025, just less than a month from now, the new distribution method of the Aeos coins and sales of licenses using Aeos coins of the Unite Battle Office will be suspended, so you will no longer be able to get coins. If you wish to purchase a Unite license using Aeos coins, please do so by December 4th. In addition, the sale of Unite licenses with gems at the previous Unite Battle Office will continue after December 4th, so do not worry. You're no longer able to get coins, you're no longer able to spend coins after December 4th, but you can still spend gems. Don't worry. They'll still take your money. It's okay. It's okay. So the exchange of existing Aeos coins. The Aeos coin exchange will be set up on December 4th. At the Aeos coin exchange, you will be able to exchange any Aeos coins you have up until then for license points, some items, and more. Aeos coin exchange and in-game display of Aeos coins is scheduled to end in May 2026. You have 5 months essentially to do any exchanges you have with any extra coins that you may have racked up. The Aeos coin boost card will no longer be usable. From December 4th, any remaining items will be available to exchange for coins. This will be available at a later date. So I guess this may have been in the plan this entire time, because if you look at any of your items right now, none of them are able to be sold for any amount of coins or even tickets at all. I guess they were kind of preparing for when they were going to get rid of coins. So we look forward to your continued support of Pokemon Unite. And yeah, that is... I can probably understand why they would obfuscate this from the patch notes. This may be the worst change I've seen Pokemon Unite ever do, and it's a bit hard to grapple around right now. Changes such as these, which are clearly intended to be taking as much as possible while providing as little as possible. I would stop there. However, there is one more thing to talk about, and it's a bit convenient with the timing, because as you remember, these changes are going to be taking into effect December 4th. Well, I'm not sure if many people remember from last year, but Pokemon Unite will be ending its services in Belgium and Netherlands on November 30th, 2025. Yes, later this month they are ending their services in Belgium and Netherlands. The reason because of this is due to loot boxes and gambling practices in games. They have harsher laws that forbid these types of practices being in your games. I don't think it's much of a coincidence that 4 days after they suspend their services in Belgium and Netherlands, they introduce a new loot box system that is bad. Just bad. Something really to think about, honestly, going forward with this game. It is definitely taking a nosedive in a direction. It seemed to have been gaining some momentum over the summer a little bit, although these types of changes really do kill any kind of hype you can have for the game, and it's very clear what's going on here, especially, 4 days after they're suspending their services in the Belgium and Netherlands. They are also going to be adding a new loot box system. So also a reminder that if you are playing on those servers, you can still move your account around, but you must do so before November 30th in order to keep any of your save data. So a bit of a somber note to end on right there. However, I do think it's important for things like this to be brought to light, as it clearly shows a trend and a direction that things are heading into that are honestly not so pleasant and have me rethinking about my engagement with this game. However, for the time being, we'll still play this game from time to time and check out this new license system that they are going to be introducing. Hopefully things aren't as bad as they sound. Although with games such as Clash Royale, they've had such a huge issue when it comes to monetization and loot boxes. And Pokemon Unite recently dabbling in loot boxes, it seems they have been getting more and more comfortable with this introduction and have now even limited the Pokemon you buy to essentially a loot box, while giving you a free pass if you have the battle pass. So leave a like if you found this video informative at all. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these latest notes that have been obfuscated off of these patch notes. Maybe we can look at this in a different light and say it will be a bit easier to get some of these Pokemon, although only time will tell. But again, I can't stress enough, things just aren't looking good right now. Anyways, I've been Brik Sharpton. Stay nasty, guys.